Welcome everyone. Today we have our another new episode on Global Talent Show, and we have one of the talent from Bangladesh. He is corporate trainer, and he have vast experience in media, in debating communities, also in the corporate sectors. So, how is Mr. Chaudhary? How is everything?
Thank you so much for inviting me to your program individually. A little bit about myself. I'm Chaudhary Kasid, my full name. And yes, I have been in the corporate sector for about 20, little over 27 years now. Alhamdulillah, it's been a long journey. I've worked with a lot of companies, mostly in the capacity of director, HR, and compliance, and also looked into the administration of a lot of big companies as well. Some of the companies that I've worked in have also had over 30,000 employees, so a lot of workload. And for the last few years, I've been working as a consultant and a corporate trainer. And also as a consultant, I'm working with a number of pretty large companies and helping them improve upon their efficiency and their policies. And I enjoy imparting soft skills trainings to people who work over there, mostly at the managerial and the leadership level. So that's me in a nutshell. And by God's grace, I think I'm doing quite okay. And Alhamdulillah, I'm okay. It's a Friday morning. It's a weekend, and it's nice to start the weekend speaking with you on this platform.
Thank you. Thank you. What is your unique talent? I know that you are from debating communities. You have a great influence through media, through corporate training, through leadership developments. But what is the uniqueness you have, and how does it make a global impact? And very specifically, I want to know more about Bangladesh Corporation because most of our speakers and audience from Western world, they will be
Hmm.
more interested to learn more about Bangladesh corporate culture, and you will be the great corporate leader from Bangladesh, and we want to learn more about Bangladesh corporate culture.
Um, Thank you for the questions. I think there were three segments to the question, so I'll try and address one by one. First of all, I think if you want to, I'll probably go in the reverse order, talk a little bit about the Bangladesh corporate culture first. So, Bangladesh corporate culture, I think, follows American corporate culture to a great extent. In terms of the fact that the corporate life over here has been greatly inspired by the office lifestyle that is often shown in movies in America. And the reason why I say that is actually because in American movies, in Hollywood movies, working 100 hours a week, 120 hours a week, these kind of things used to be glorified a lot in movies that were shown in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Like all the main protagonists are always shown working late into the night, going home, and then rushing back very early in the morning. That's also the kind of stuff that's shown mostly on Netflix as well. And that is very much, I would say, unfortunately, the lifestyle that has been adopted in Bangladesh, because a lot of the company owners and their children in the 80s and the 90s studied in America. They went there for their higher education, and this whole corporate culture of Wall Street and investment bankers, and a lot of them, even after finishing their studies, worked a few years in companies like that. And when they came back to Bangladesh, they actually brought in that culture. So, and a lot of the banks also helped to propagate that culture as well. Many of the multinational banks had people working till 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So that became a pretty much standard in Bangladesh. So people in Bangladesh, on an average, work a minimum of 10 to 12 hours a day. So that's there. In general, the corporate culture is among the mid management and the juniors, people are very friendly. Generally, people are well integrated. There is a little bit of a communication gap with the uppermost management and with the owners of the company. That is still there. There is still a bit of a gap over there, a gap in understanding, and there's a bit of gap in communication. So I think a lot of the people working in the companies don't understand what the company owners are wanting, and maybe the company owners also want things which sometimes they should not be wanting from their juniors in terms of the amount of stress and the work pressure that's a lot of the times imparted. So we are still evolving, and the good practices are gradually also being developed. And one of the major reasons why I think this excessive work culture has come into Bangladesh is because we work with foreign countries, America to a great extent, a lot of countries in Europe, and people work. I mean, we have a time difference, so that is also another factor. That I mean, a very large number of companies work with European head offices and European principals and buyers, and they, I mean, their afternoon and evening, early evening is our late evening. So that was also one of the reasons that has majorly contributed to this excessive work culture. So that's about the work culture. And what were the earlier segments of the question? So there were
Your
two
unique,
other,
your
my
uniqueness,
unique,
yeah.
okay, and global contribution. Well, first of all, I think, okay, I think one of the unique features of mine would be communication ability with the people in general. When in whatever company that I worked with, I think I was always very popular with the people at large, and that is because I think I communicated well. I understood what motivates, what demotivates, and I would always try and do things that would motivate people and not do things that would demotivate people, and would encourage other people in the company to not be doing things which would be demotivating for them. So I think that was probably my unique challenge. And I say unique because I think I did it really well, given the amount of closeness and intimacy that developed between everyone and myself in all the companies. I think that probably indicates that this is something that I was capable of doing at a very high level. And at the same time, I think in my corporate training, I think that one of the unique talents I have is that I make it extremely interactive. And I've also recently qualified or received a certification rather from IFC for conducting trainings at a global level. And I have conducted trainings at a global level in the past in Nepal, in Indonesia, and China. But in all of those places, I was myself quite surprised to see that even in comparison with international trainers and all, and I've also conducted a lot of sessions in India, that my sessions were always very highly appreciated for the amount of interactivity and activities that we would do. I would make sure that the learning is not unilateral, one directional form of learning, and I would make it very engaging. I do make it very engaging, very interactive, and I think that makes my trainings also stand out in comparison to the trainings which are conducted mostly by most of the other trainers. And I think that has a global impact indirectly because the people who receive the training, they work in various capacities which engage them with other countries. And I think they work considerably better going through these trainings on a regular basis with me. And that's probably an indirect way that I have a little bit of a global impact. And yes, of course, when I myself get called in for conducting trainings internationally, which I have been able to, I think that was a bit of a global impact. And there were some clothing brands like Gap that invited me to also popularize a training program module which is called PACE, that used to be imparted for all the workers in the different RMG factories in all of the different countries in which Gap operates. And I attended a couple of their conferences where I had a role as well to promote that training to owners of enormous companies that came in from more than a dozen different countries. So I think, and PACE has actually contributed to training several million workers all over the world on soft skills, on life skills. So I think that was a pretty big global impact where I had a direct contribution. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Mhm. What is your inspiration? What inspired you to develop this kind of talent and contributions? And My second options, like how does your work contribute to the solve real problem? I can understand that corporate training is very important, but right now, in the AI era, uh, even AI related company, they are heavily deploying their generative AI for this training program. So what's your thought on that particular point? Yeah.
Um, First of all, I don't really think that AI and training has anything in conflict between one another. In fact, I do take assistance from AI as well, and I think a lot of trainers do. You can, like, when you're designing the training modules, you can always take suggestions from AI on the content, but it would be what would not be right is for a trainer to just ask AI to develop a training module. That would be inappropriate and incorrect and insufficient as well. Because no matter, how advanced AI is, you are actually the person who are interfacing with the people in that company. You are interfacing with the client. So you know their needs and their requirements, and you need to incorporate all of that into what AI suggests. And it's a place where the two merge, and if you can make it merge effectively, that's where you come up with some fantastic training modules. AI can give you suggestions on how many varieties of a certain thing there is that you want to talk about. AI can give you information, data that you're looking for much faster. You don't maybe have to look into 10 different websites in order to gather information if you want to share examples. So those are the places where AI can help you out with. You can write down what you want in the slides, and then you can give it to AI, and AI could help you make the slides look a little nicer. So those are places where there are collaborations in between a person and AI. But it would be very difficult for AI to completely replace the human touch. And it would be extremely stupid for a trader to think that, you can delegate the entire responsibility to AI. And it would also be, I personally think that it would be quite um, unwise for companies as well to expect that AI will be able to deliver all kinds of training. That does not happen. That cannot happen. AI is required. AI is a tool, and you need to be able to use that tool very effectively in order to get the most effective results. So there needs to be a combination in between the human element and AI for the best result to come. Human is a human, and AI is like a fantastic, like a vehicle. And it's when the human is in the vehicle that, together you go a certain place. Just sending the vehicle on its own will not really complete the fulfillment, the goal that you desire to fulfill. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, thank you. As I am also academicians, and I have opportunity to train and teach 100 different countries around
Of
the world.
course.
I'm just sharing one of the views. You can see even in the Harvard universities. I do not know what's your thought about that. But the world first university is Harvard University. Experiment with AI in the classrooms. It's not like using generative AI or chat GPT. When we discuss about our country, about AI, everybody thinking that, okay, AI is something like I'm using chat GPT. No, AI is something, the robotics. AI is something, your autonomous vehicle. AI is something, is a drone, your supply chains, the quantum computing, the system of system.
Hmm.
So you can see. I'm just sharing with you. Maybe we can build up the innovations together. You can see. I also teach in Harvard CS50. This Harvard University
Hmm.
experimenting with the AI in the classroom, and it's actually bringing a lot of success. And honestly speaking, I try to engage with different universities in Bangladesh. I find most of the classroom and other things, they actually just utilizing very frustrating utilizing this Western world book and their case study and other thing. No innovations, no case study, no research, no publications. On the other hand, if you're utilizing this artificial intelligence in the classroom, the AI mentor is very much knowledge oriented, because all of the greater knowledge and things it's bring in this material. Secondly, student enjoying a lot to experiment with this AI and all of the things. But this is new era. Definitely, your opinion is important. Your opinion is valuable. We have to learn from each other. That is the issues we go for this podcast. So, do you face any kind of challenges right now in the corporations? Even in the Davos, Donald Trump and all of the political leaders come, and now it has a lot of political and economical challenges around the world. So what's happening? How Bangladeshi corporation actually economically survive? Also, we have political tensions. What is the situations? How we can work, or what is the overcoming strategy right now we have?
Well, first of all, let me speak a little bit about AI being used in the learning environment. I think that's exactly the point. I mean, you need to have AI teach people in classrooms how to use AI more effectively. We cannot be making people's brains redundant also. While we do use AI and we want to learn more from AI and we can delegate a lot of things to AI, but at the same time, we need to also make sure that the power of AI is harnessed for the development of the human mind. If you are taking AI and simply not going to utilize your own brain for anything, then ultimately people will actually end up becoming the redundant species, as is often shown in science fiction movies. And I remember there was one group conversation that we had on your platform where we were actually talking about this for quite a long time. That unless and until we are able to manage the situation well, we may end up with scenarios very similar to Terminator movie and other movies, sci-fi movies, where people were wiped out by machines. So we definitely don't want that kind of a situation to happen, but we will be accelerating our own doom if we allow the human mind to degenerate completely. So while we want to have generative AI, we also need to make sure that the human mind does not degenerate. So there's got to be a very good level of collaboration. In fact, AI itself, being so intelligent, can help to come up with strategies and ideas on how people can be made to keep up with the power of AI. So we could actually take help from AI in order to learn how to keep up with AI. So that's a little bit that I wanted to say about the first part of your question. And the second part about overall situation, the economy, and what's going on in Bangladesh. First of all, yes, we have been going through a lot of political, I would say, stress, not so much of turmoil over the last 1.5 years, a little over 1.5 years, because after the regime change, there was a lot of instability about a lot of things. So we are still kind of facing that. Whether or not there will be another political government forming, how that is going to take place. So there were a lot of uncertainties and confusions which plagued people's minds across the last half of 2024 and the major part of 2025 for about a year. Now there is a sense of direction, and we are heading towards elections, and people are feeling a lot more optimistic that yes, we will probably be resuming into democratic form of government, and everybody's looking forward to that. That once a political government comes in, maybe business is going to flourish more, and maybe international business will also flourish more. Because to some extent, what happens is whenever there are these kind of interim governments, and we face this to a great extent between 2007 and 8, when there was like a very long, a little over 2 year period of interim government, which was backed by the military. The economy had suffered quite badly during that time, and people were very afraid that something like that may happen this time as well. And in general, there was a major economic meltdown because there were, I mean, not to get political, but or anything like that, but few $100 billion were siphoned out of the country. I'm not mentioning by whom or how or whatever, but a few $100 billion were siphoned out of the country, out of the banks. So a lot of banks went bankrupt. A lot of banks went into liquidity crisis. So a lot of people were unable to take the funds they themselves had deposited out. Myself and my family suffered terribly from a situation like that. And there are a lot of people who had businesses that were planned, factories that they needed to make, and they were not able to get the funds out from the banks in order to carry out those things that were all planned and set. Some people were had to stop their work halfway in the construction of their buildings or their factories. So over the last 1.5 years, things have slowed down a lot economically. But everyone's thinking that hopefully once a political government comes in, things are going to pick up. And another thing that happens is even foreign trade suffers when there is like an interim government to some extent. Investments are a little, foreign investments, they slow down in coming in. And a lot of people in the other countries, they're not sure exactly what is going to happen. They're not sure about a lot of things. And they think that maybe eventually it might become a military-backed government. And a lot of countries, they don't like to operate with a country that is under a military-backed regime. So there are like these kind of suspicions and doubts that appear in the minds of people that we do business with around the world. So all of that ends up affecting the economic situation in Bangladesh. But we are looking forward to things picking up positively in the, coming months. In the global scenario, of course, global tension always affects us because, like, for example, when the war started between Ukraine and Russia, that severely affected Bangladesh. Bangladesh is nowhere nearby. We hardly have any business with Ukraine, except for the fact that, yes, some cotton comes in from there. But yes, we were quite badly affected in the textile trade for a couple of years. And uh, prices went up, fuel prices went up, oil was badly affected. So something happens. Our world is so it's too connected now. Honestly speaking, it's all the butterfly effect. People used to make fun of it, but it is so real now. It's almost like if you drop a glass of water over there, it might end up hampering something in Vietnam. It's almost as badly connected as that. So we definitely cannot afford to have any major instability happening in any part of the world, and therefore we are all very concerned that everything should work the way it was working peacefully, harmoniously, and we need peace and harmony across the world. We can't afford to have. By we, I don't just mean Bangladesh. I think the whole world cannot afford to flex muscles against one another. We can't afford to do that.
Excellent, excellent. As you bring this very important point, very interesting discussions today. Uh, uh, Number one, the political instability, very good point. Number two, regarding artificial intelligence. Number three, regarding the economical sustainability model for Bangladesh. So yesterday, one of the scientific papers, my scientific paper, it's published through IGI Global. It's a high impact journal. And in the global north, actually, when you have this scientific journal, you can contribute in the classroom. So it's called technocracy. Actually, technocracy happening, the rule of expert in the modern world, in a very simple way.
Mm-hmm.
Technocracy happening in Singapore, in
Mm-hmm.
in Gujarat, in
Mm-hmm.
South Korea. The technocracy is happening
Mm-hmm.
with the help of artificial intelligence, with the help of rule of government, with the help of expert. Like when the expert people come to the policy, and this AI and generative AI is happening, and with what we call technocracy and singularity. You can see the singularity model right now happening. And in this such
Mm-hmm.
scenario, definitely you have to bring modern science, modern engineering, technology, and the expert people like you in the policy level, not like the random politicians, what we are observing right now in our countries.
Mm-hmm.
We need educated peoples in the policy level who can contribute with their expertise, with modern science, engineering, and technology. So that is my
Mm-hmm.
scientific research and innovations. And beside that, I
Mm-hmm.
can share with you, this is the way actually how technocracy is happening. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
around the world, as well as what we call singularity. The Elon Musk,
Mm-hmm.
last week you can see that Elon Musk said, we are the era of singularity. We are this is
Mm-hmm.
the most important factors in the human progression. You can see the talent network, what we are doing, World Talent Economic Forum, right? And you are doing
Mm-hmm.
training. So data labeling and talent network is very important in this AI training. Through this open
Mm-hmm.
AI,
Mm-hmm.
you can see these platforms where AI training is happening when you actually even
Mm-hmm.
hire people in the corporations. You need the expert who has that kind of expertise and everything. Third, you can find that human data expertise. Data monetization is a most important factors, and you need to build best AI, uh, data centers, and all of the things. We have our own innovations and everything through this process. So around the world, you can see the corporate industry, they heavily deploying the singularity model through job creations,
Mm-hmm.
through training model, through what I call technocracy. And Elon Musk and all of the big thinkers and doers, they are actually taking action. It's not like Elon is doing and they are smart, but this is demanding right now. If you want to improve your GDP, if you want to improve your economical conditions, if you want to uplift the youth, even in the grassroots level, I heavily engage with the young population. We have around 57% youth. And it's a huge number of population. Youth are very destructive with all of the political agenda and other things. But what is their future? Their future, they need better job, right? They need better payment. They need to survive in this challenging world. So this is the situations we naturally promote this generative AI, and we say that this is the era of singularity. You cannot avoid. If you say, hey, I'm the smartest person in the world and I can do everything, but the corporations, the economical activities, even the IMF, even this World Bank, those who are investing in our countries, even the Asian Development Bank, they are also deploying this kind of innovations in this process. So that's why this is not argument. This is the changing the environment, and we need to welcome this process. And our World Talent Economic Forum strongly working in this process, and we are happy to support you and your initiative. My final question: would you like to share your with our talent or your talent around the world regarding your experience, your thought, your inspirational journeys with our audience? What you want to share?
Um, your questions are actually very long, and you've actually covered quite a few areas. So I think one of the first things that you were talking about is technocracy and how that is necessary in the politics and the management of Bangladesh. So let me talk a little bit about that first. See, I think what you were sharing about technocracy being used in different countries, definitely that is a great example, and we need to try and implement a little bit of that, not a little bit of that, quite a bit of that in Bangladesh. But at the same time, we need to understand that Bangladesh is a country of 18 crore, that's about 100 and actually nearly 200 million people. I mean, the 180 million number's been around for a long time, and I think we've
India,
crossed that
India
by a
has
considerable
1.5
degree.
billion people. India has 1.5 billion people, and their
Oh, is
executive is
it 1.5? Yeah, oh, it's a 1.5. Okay, that's great. I used to hear 1.3.
yeah. India
So,
is
yeah, I think
working.
we're at around 200
I
million
am
people.
working with
So,
her.
So so we've got around 200 million people, and of course, we need the help of AI in order to understand how to manage the 200 million people better and how to make best use of the resources that we have, and also to understand better what resources we do have. However, at the same time, we also do need at least there has to be a merger between traditional politicians and at the same time the technocrats. The reason is because people of Bangladesh are different in the sense that they're very sentimental, they're very emotional. Um, so you can't just deal people in Bangladesh by simply saying that this is the better solution and this is what needs to be done, and people will just accept that. It doesn't happen. Unfortunately, you need a whole group of people who understand how to manage people's minds, their motivation, how to make them feel excited, how to drive them towards certain goals. And a lot of that is unfortunately necessary in a place like Bangladesh. So we need to have the traditional politicians as well, and do what they do, but we need to improve the way that they do it. We can't necessarily encourage many of the previous and earlier political practices. So we need to help them become better and improve themselves in the way that they conduct themselves. But a little bit of that is definitely needed. So the way to go forward would be, and there were a lot of suggestions regarding that, how to create a merger. It didn't end up happening this time, but probably in time, the parliament may develop another platform where there was a discussions about it going on. And I also wrote a few articles and created a few video blogs as well, suggesting that they, like, if there are 300 people who are elected, and among them, of course, there are a lot of people who are very well educated and intelligent and from corporate background and from business background or from academic background, medical background. So we do, let's say out of 300 people who get elected, there are usually 50 to 100 people who are brilliant minds. There are. But at the same time, because they are having to engage in politics too, they kind of lose a little bit of their intellectual acumen from the other world, and they become too much embroiled into just politics and managing people and their moods. So we do need to create another platform of at least 100, 150 other people coming in from different sectors who are specialists in those sectors, and that would help to create technocracy. Maybe their voting powers and all that could be a little bit limited if needed, but we do need a platform like that where intelligent minds, they don't necessarily have to do politics in order to get elected into those positions. They will be chosen for their expertise and their contributions. So there was a lot of dialogue going on in that direction, but I mean, there was not much time to create something like that or have enough debate about how to create something like that, which is why it didn't end up happening. But I think going forward over the next few years, 5, 10 years, we are looking towards creation of a platform like that, where technocracy, as you are, as you say, will be a pretty dominant aspect of how to manage the country. So we can look forward to that. About how I would like to be a part of helping to contribute in changing or developing world talent, I think over the years, I believe my own skill and experience and through the training that I conduct, I think my knowledge is also increasing and enhancing. I think every time that I stand up and do training, even on the same topic, but with a different group of people, because of the interaction, there's a lot of cross-learning that happens in between the participants and between myself and the participants as well. It's not just me teaching them, they teach one another, they teach me as well. So I believe that my own wisdom is also expanding over the time. And I do believe that it would be really nice if I could convey that to more international platforms, and maybe the World Challenge Forum can help out in that way, in creating platforms where I would be able to communicate my thoughts on various issues, on various subjects, to a much wider audience. And that can be through online platforms, as we're doing right now. That could even be in physical events if required. And yes, I would definitely like to be a part of a process through which I can help contribute to shaping talent, especially young minds and talent across the world. And I've tried to do that all the time. I've tried to have TV programs. I've had more than 150 episodes of TV program, which was very popular in between 2007 and 2012, where I used to bring in a large number, 2 to 3 dozen youth in the studio, and we would have a few experienced professionals as well, and academicians and entrepreneurs, and experts basically, and then we would engage them in very interactive discussions on different ways on how to make Bangladesh a better place. And sometimes we would talk even at a global level as well. So I've done that, and while I mean, this was a knack I had ever since I was a student. Even when I was in the university, I launched a program over there which was called the Burning Issues, where every month I used to have like an open mic platform, and a few hundred people would actually participate through the day. From the morning till evening, people would come in and talk about on a particular subject. And that used to be very interactive. Teachers, students, sometimes even outsiders who were visiting the university for any purpose would come in and talk. So there used to be, and sometimes we would have articles written within the university on the output of those discussions. So, yes, spreading knowledge, generating thought, trying to generate ideas towards making the country a better one are things that I've been wanting to do ever since I was a student. And I still feel the urge to continue contributing. And in some ways, I do video blogging and all. But yes, I would love to have the assistance of a fantastic platform like yours in order to continue doing that at a much higher level, if an opportunity like that would exist.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely, we want to welcome you more in our conference. We have our scientific conference on the business disruptive world coming 30 and 31st January. So this whole year, we are working with the Paris Innovative Academic Research Publishers. I'm a scientist and chief editor for them and general chair. We're going to invite you for our scientific discussions, and you will be happy. All of our dialogue is go as a with the help of AI, go as a classroom uh, classroom material for 100 different universities around the world. Hundreds in India, in Dubai, in Australia.
I am deeply honored to be a part of that.
Yeah. So I just shared we work like a scientist, even though the Bill Gates and this Elon Musk, everyone focus on the scientific innovations, and we are building this talent economy. You know, there are a lot of talent. You are from Bangladesh. You have a huge influence over talent. Lot of talent around the world, but they need a ecosystem, better jobs, better opportunities. But how we bring all of the ecosystem together, that is the commitment of World Talent Economic Forum. I want to invite you in our board. Through this talent economy, you can contribute a lot. And recently, even our activities, we are launching with this Khalifa Rashid bin Maktoum Foundations. Yesterday, we launched this program with Al Maktoum Foundations. And hopefully, through this process, we can bring a lot of success. Before I finish these things, I just want to share this Al Maktoum Foundations. They are working. They are working like a catalyst around the world, and all of the billionaires from around the world, they are working together. I'm also in their board. Our talent economy is a very important component for this Al Maktoum Foundations to develop this talent and all of the things. And what I share, even though our podcast, it's go with 100 of universities around the world. And definitely with your commitment, if you say that okay, we can publish it as a classroom material, we can do it. That is the beauty of AI with Skitry. We are heavily promoting these things in IIT Madras in our South Asia, and hopefully through our conversation we can bring more success and more intellectual activities, and we can build a more intellectual contributions. I'm very honest with you. I visit a lot in Bangladesh. I try to engage with grassroots level communities. There are a lot of scope of work of improvement. Let's say in Pakistan, we build up a project like every student earn $1,000 per month. The same we help our community to enhance their economical power. That is called talent economy with modern science, engineering, and technology. And Mr. Chaudhary, you are very, very talented. You have very positive attitudes. And previously, I am also from debating community. Through debating, through media show, through your training, you inspire millions of Bangladeshis and around the world. So you are the talent. You are most valuable asset for Bangladesh and for this global community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I request all of our audience, please share our content as much as possible. Thank you. Bye-bye and take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.